So let's start. Just a quick introduction about what I do, what Sysmic does. We put together all the social networks that you like and we like in one place, in one application, on different platforms. So on web-based, there is Sysmic Web on Web Store, Chrome Web Store. There is a desktop, Mac and PC that many of you use. There is iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone 7, which suddenly becomes more important. It's always been for us, but given the Nokia move to adopt Windows Phone 7. And yes, we don't have an iPad version, and yes, it's coming. In two forms, by the way. It's coming in a web-based version, and it's also coming in native, which is not yet the case. We also have Sysmic for Android working great on tablets. You should try, and it's going to work even better very soon. So that's what Sysmic does, basically. That was pretty fast. Just one more thing. We are a platform ourselves, so we have I think 60 or 70 plugins, which you can get on marketplace.sysmic.com, making our desktop an open platform with an SDK. And we're very excited about the plugins which are there already. You can see Ning, Davos, and some of them which are coming. Chatter from Salesforce we have it. It's amazing, I think, but we've been testing it with customers before we release it. We have also what do we have also? We have also coming a few very cool plugins. Tumblr is coming today. I mean, I have it. We're going to release it as soon as anyone. Do you have sound? Someone is saying there is no audio here. Yeah, I guess otherwise you would have all left. So yes, we do. Okay, so turn your speakers on. What gets us excited these days is the business opportunities. We have been a consumer kind of company and focus, and we are now focusing much more on the business users, ranging from small businesses to enterprise users. And it doesn't mean that we will make everything paid at all. Everything is free and will remain free. It's just that the new features we're building will be much more focusing on businesses and pros. So analytics, workflow, and more Chatter integration will be free, but we will do more with Salesforce. And that gets us very excited. As you can see on the slide, here are Mark Benioff, CEO and founder of Salesforce, and Michael Dell, who are here playing with Sysmic. That makes me pretty happy, I can tell you, when we see that. And that's just a beginning of business users getting into social. What's very exciting is the bridge between internal and external. That was the introduction. So if you think by the way, this presentation isn't targeted to like Uber geeks, so it's much more general and trends. And if you're bored, you can just leave. You can say goodbye in the chat room if you do. And the first thing is if you think about digitalization, which was the theme of that presentation at the World Economic Forum, you can think of it as it used to be very simple. It used to be you had a website, whether it's a personal website or whether it's a business website, and that was it basically. That was very simple. You could manage that. Now you have to think about an array of services, a wide range of services, which are obviously RSS. I mean, so getting in from your website, video, very important. I enjoy doing a lot of crappy videos like this one, and it's fun, and it gets you a lot of traction. I got 2.5 million views on my own, Loic.tv, but there is the Sysmic one, the Loic got 250,000 people watching on Ustream and another 250,000 on YouTube already. So I say people don't do enough videos. Because video has a lot of traction and helps, but it's difficult. It's just a little difficult. We can talk about that later. By the way, we'll take questions at the end, of course, from everywhere. Reviews. Think about reviews for a sushi restaurant. I feel like sushi today. It's noon. You have reviews, right? So you need to monitor your competition. You need to monitor what people are saying about you. And it's not only Yelp. Put Yelp in there, but it's, you know, reviews from Google, reviews from everyone, from everywhere. Facebook is very important. Twitter, as you know. And so on. My point on this slide is that it's not, you know, if you want to be good at that, if you want to build your brand, and if you want to, and everybody's saying from where they are in the chat room, cool. They just post from where you are, what city. It's good. I'll keep talking while we do that. You have to think about it as a range of services where you have to be everywhere if you want to basically create your brand and manage everything happening around you. That's a lot of services. And these are only examples. There are new ones all the time. Quora is new. I'm playing with it myself, discovering it. It's very cool. And sometimes you just don't know why one is getting traction. For example, Quora or Instagram right now are very interesting services, and it's mostly because one, it's very well done, and two, the cool guys hang out there. So if the cool guys hang out there, then you'll probably scoop it. Yeah, you'll probably reach it. You'll probably want to join that. And then sometimes they just die. Sometimes they go up. Business services is pretty new. So LinkedIn, of course, not new, but Salesforce Chatter, which is now free, chatter.com. You should try with your company URL. And Yammer and many others are getting into this. We're getting the way we communicate for consumers, like on Facebook, but inside a company, and that's a very new thing if you think about it. The employees today of any organization just don't want to use traditional tools. They don't want to use Lotus Notes, and they don't want to use like old and passé tools. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want to have not only some companies. I think there is not that many companies shutting down the internet. It used to be a few years ago, but now some of them shut down Facebook use in a business. But if you think about it, it's more and more a business tool actually. Like LinkedIn, you have to use those tools to actually be able to work on it, and so on and so forth. So first, all this map around yourself of services you can hang out to or use or not. Then there is all the devices, and think of it as well as very broad. If you think of it, you have your Mac, your PC, you have all the phones, the smartphones, you have a tablet, the different sizes of tablet. The Dell Streak is like this, then you have the Samsung Tab like that, you have the iPad and the new Motorola and so on. And that's a lot of different form factors. Why not a watch? Your iPod Nano is as close as you can get to a very small, like smartphone, and it's very interesting as well that your digital life is not only on a PC or on a Mac, and it's mostly mobile, which is what we experiment. By the way, most of our traffic now is mobile, and it's amazing the growth we see here. I actually think the web and desktop for Seismic will become just accessories, not that important anymore very soon. We have like half and half already. Amazing. So a lot of devices. TV is going to, of course, have apps, and you can see it with Google TV already. Just a beginning. It's just that the apps there will look really different because you're kind of laid back and just watching instead of being active, either in front of your phone or in front of your smartphone. A lot of devices, you get it. Then you have a lot of apps, right? And many people say it's all web-based, it's all going on the web. It's all HTML5, but the reality is very different. We all hang out in apps all day long, and we love them. So of course, I put Seismic here in social, but you have business apps, you have games, Angry Birds. By the way, I should have done that with my Angry Birds costume. It's home. I'll do it maybe next time. And this is, it's a very interesting thing that those apps, like Evernote for me, for example, Phil Liblin and the team, they are doing an amazing job at becoming so important to you. Like Evernote for me is where I store my brain and my life, and I love it. It syncs with all my devices, which is what we're building with Sysmic as well. It's a sync across devices where you want to see all your content the same way, whether you're on your iPhone, Android, or your web, everything synced. So Evernote, amazing. And you can see on music, iTunes is pretty much achieving that, which is creating a lot of challenges for everyone, because if you think about, this is why I put me in the center here. I put me because you don't really care, actually, if you're a user. People think in terms of target and in terms of OS and in terms of, but it's really about you. And you don't really care. You want exactly the same content. You don't actually understand if this content is different from one platform to another. So anyway, apps, big trend. And it's a blog post I just posted yesterday. By the way, Russ, if you're still here, or anyone from Slideshare, I'd love to know how many people are logged in right now or listening, because that doesn't tell me this. We have nightmares as developers. Not that I code myself. I'm not a coder, but we have a lot of developers and coders at Sysmic. And I wrote this post about the developer nightmares, because if you think about what the previous points I was making about platforms and so on is doing to developers, you have many platforms. So when you want to be successful, you really want to be mobile and web, but also desktop, because some people really thanks Russ. Is that simultaneous? 10,000 people right now? No, I can't buy that. It's probably a few hundred. Anyway, I was just checking with Russ. It's interesting to see. So you have different platforms. It's very challenging when you think about it. I get the question all day long: why is Sysmic for Android different than Sysmic for iPhone, for example? The answer is very simple: is that it's not the same code base. It's not the same developers. So we don't go at the same speed on all the platforms. For example, BlackBerry is pretty challenging to build as fast as smartphones, and you have different complexities and size of teams sometimes. Now we're pretty much the same size on all the platforms, but very challenging as a developer. You could say, we had this conversation on my blog, that you could say, all right, well, if you're a developer, maybe you focus on just one. You say, all right, let's be great on iPhone or great on Android. And the problem is that if you do this, you leave the door wide open to someone copying you and doing it on the other platform. Let's think about Instagram. When I'm on Android, I really miss Instagram, for example, or on Windows Phone 7. And I really want it because I love it. And someone maybe has already done it, and I don't know Instagram on Android. But you see what I mean. So Instagram should better probably move to Android as fast as possible. And that's what Angry Birds is doing. They just announced yesterday to do Windows Phone 7 as well, and be everywhere. Soon you'll have Angry Birds on TV, if it's not done yet. I don't know, Google TV and so on. So the other point, which is a nightmare, are you still with me? Say hi in the chat room. Yeah, okay, cool. Just checking, because, all right. Just checking, because, I'm alone in my office here, and my entire company went to lunch. So it feels good to see the stream. Otherwise, I just feel alone. So the app stores now, second nightmare for developers, for anyone, for a brand who wants to be good, is the app stores themselves. So obviously you have the iPhone, the Android market, Windows Phone 7 marketplace, classic, no surprise here. What's new is you have all the carriers. So if you want to be good, you have to yes, please bring me a cup of coffee. You have to bring a cup of coffee. You have to register your app with AT&T and with Orange and with Verizon and with all the app stores from all the carriers. That's a mess already for a developer. It's horrible, right? And I was giving as an idea for a business, which is my gift to you today. Someone should do a service managing apps on app stores. So we give you our apps, and you register me in all the carriers around the world. I think we're in more than 100 countries. Thanks to mobile, it's crazy, right? It gets you everywhere. And we now, if there's anyone watching who helped us translate the apps. It's amazing as well because we're in, we are in Korean, we're in Japanese. It's amazing. So nightmare, right? Now add to this the manufacturers' app stores. So the stores from the phone manufacturers, the stores from the different carriers. Thank you. And now HP has a store, with its OS, and Amazon launched a store for apps. And expect, I don't know, right? It's just me, but expect the Samsungs and the, Toshiba and all the manufacturers to have stores as well. Why not? And of course, expect Microsoft to have a store. I don't know as well. This is just me speaking. I'm not, betraying any secrets or anything like that. And I am just thinking it's natural, since Apple has done it, obviously. So if you think this way, you have to, if you're a startup or a brand, you have to register your app in all of those. Crazy, right? Form factors. 4 weeks ago, I think, at CES, Google announced a new form factor for Android, and Android 3.0 with the Motorola tablet, which is like an iPad, which is large. And guess what? As a developer, we had no notice. I don't know if anyone had noticed, and anyone had any, prior communication that it was coming, but we didn't. So imagine our life. You have a roadmap, right? And you have this, cool, now there is Android 3.0, it changes everything. There is a tablet Motorola coming, and now a Samsung announced on 3.0, and it's a different form factor, and you have to change pretty much everything. So you have to change, it's like a month of work or something at least to do that. So yes, it's 20 minutes. You know what? I'm getting reminded in the chat room here that I've been on for 20 minutes. I've actually been on for 10 or 12 because I started a little late. 1 and 2, actually, I'm in my office. I'm not on stage with an organizer of a conference such as me at Loic kicking my butt out of the stage. So you just leave if I'm too long. No, I'm going to try to accelerate. But I have some time, and I think this is fun. I see the tweets, and it's cool. So if I'm too long, just say goodbye. And social network integrations, crazy. If you've been using Sysmic on iPhone, you have probably seen for a few weeks we were broken if you tried Facebook. And that is Facebook who's changed an API, a little thing in the API, and that broke our app. So what we did is, as fast as possible, we ran as fast as possible to correct the bug, and it didn't help, because then you have a delay for the App Store to approve you and so on, and it takes too long. Very difficult. That's my point, to manage all of that. And now it's fixed. You can try Sysmic for iPhone and so on. Ross, you might want to monitor @Loic on Twitter, because someone says that they don't see the slides and they don't see the chat, I guess. I don't know, maybe help the guy. It's @BrandGrowth. So constantly changing, super challenging, very difficult. So a lot of nightmares, right? But you know what? If you're a small business, if you have a brand, you will have all those nightmares. Or your supplier will have all those nightmares, because it's very difficult. Large companies, same, right? But extremely challenging. We can talk about it later if you want. Everything is becoming a stream. Easy. You can see pretty well that we are communicating differently, right? I spend as much time on streams from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from Twitter, from Chatter, than email. Probably more now. And is that a good thing? I think so. I see our use of Chatter internally really decrease the number of emails we're exchanging, just because you can go, you see what happens in the company. Without bombarding everyone by email, I see myself sending many less emails to all, for example, which is kind of a pollution to your own group, to your own company. So everything is becoming stream. I think it's very good. I think we need to curate it better with tools like Cloud, which I really like. As you have noticed, it's all over the place. It's Sysmic Web and Sysmic Desktop. Love those guys, just because it helps you curate it. I had a meeting with a few people where I showed the Cloud score embedded with the tweet, And it's obvious that you cannot read everyone. If you're Dell, you have a lot of feedback. You can't read it, so that helps filtering. So we need to invent tools that help you filtering. Topsy, very cool as well. You can see what matters the most. During the web, we had tens of thousands of tweets. We were #1 trending topic on Twitter worldwide the first day, because there was a lot of news. I could not follow. In the evening, what I did is I went to Topsy and I searched what was the most retweeted, what was the most, there are other tools, the most like influential or the most spreading, which is important. So streaming becoming a key, of course, trend, and we have yet to create all the tools to help you monitor that, because otherwise you get nuts, of course. But I think all in all, it's very good news. There are a lot of business implications, which are thank you Meta Meerkat for saying it's a great presentation, and that was on Twitter. The business implications are very deep if you think about it, and we just started. We Seismic, we in general, not only us, just started to realize the business implications. I think it's just huge. We've just scratched the surface of all these, different dynamics of stores and apps and HTML5 versus apps and the Chrome web store and the everything becoming a stream is changing the deal. Reading my company as if I was reading Twitter, which we do on Chatter, is changing completely the way I think, because I see what's happening in it. Live, amazing as a CEO. Then you need to have real-time innovation. You need to change fast. You have an open platform, difficult, challenging, but opening up to developers, as we did with a platform.seismic.com, gives you. It's not a plus; it's kind of a must, more and more. Then you have unprecedented transparency, because there is, of course, you can see who is doing what. And I'm often telling my team, look, if it's not there, if it's not on Chatter, it probably didn't happen. It's not that I want to control, but it helps me. It's like on Twitter, right? When you share something, or on Facebook, it means something that matters, that could be, having lunch with someone, but happen. And it's a flow. It's like the coffee machine kind of conversation, but also what's important. And you can see who is doing what. You can see pretty much like on Twitter who is the most followed, who is the most liked on Facebook, but in a company, that's very, very new, right? It means flatter organizations, because you don't need to go through the management, right? It means the live customer feedback needs, immediate attention. We're trying to do it at Seismic. Dell has a huge team, tens of people answering on Twitter. I tweeted a few days ago that my wife wanted to change her car, and she got a tweet back from Lexus. I got a tweet back from Lexus, very fast. Can I help? Hi, we're fans. We're using actually Seismic. I met them in LA, and amazing. They actually tried to. They wowed me by letting me drive an ILS. Lexus, I don't know if you know what an ILS is, but it's ISF. Sorry, ISF. It's a 430 horsepower Lexus, like an M3, and that was crazy. So just starting with a tweet, and that's kind of relationship we want with brands. We want to be live. We want to say, if you need something, it's public. They have to pay attention. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't work for Lexus. I see someone talking about a product placement for Lexus. I just like those guys. And by the way, Nissan Renault was the main partner of the web. So as you can see, as I was joking in a conference recently, I go in bed with many different people just because I like to see what brands are doing, and I work with all of them. And I try to be neutral. Yes, it's a troll. Hi, troll, little troll. We're gonna have raccoon and the the little characters here eat you. We have so the product roadmap. Think about how you design a product now. The way we do it is we obviously have a roadmap. We know where we are. We know where we want to go. But we also pay a lot of attention to what you guys are saying, on Twitter, on Facebook, and also on a tool we use, which is user voice, which we really like, feedback.seismic.com. You can go there and vote, and suggestions and what you don't like. And whenever we see a new bug which needs immediate attention, we try to fix it. Whenever it's a product suggestion, we pay attention to it. And we see, for example, that Tumblr is very popular among yourselves, and we have a plugin coming just today, which is great. So that's the way I think you should do a roadmap. Of course, if you're building a car, that's much more difficult because it needs much more planning. You cannot change easily. But it's very different for a startup. You can adapt. If you're a software, you can pretty much adapt to what your users want. And that's what we've been doing, and how we grew the user base. In fact, it's actually my number one advice to entrepreneurs, which is that I'm sorry, I'm going to be back in a sec. Which is that it's actually cold in San Francisco, so I got a little cold. You need to focus on shipping as soon as possible, getting feedback as soon as possible, and then improving the product based on feedback. That's what we're doing. It's been pretty good for us. Number one criteria of success, I would say. Social networking data, right? It's incredible how much data there is in the stream itself. And since there is so much data, there are leads for you as a business as well. So let me give you an idea, an example. I was flying on Virgin product placement, nothing to do with Virgin. Virgin America rocks, congrats, just a consumer view. But I was flying, and I tweeted, as I always do, I'm landing in JFK in 4 hours, whatever, and you have Wi-Fi on the plane, and someone tweets me back and says, hi, for $10 more, you can have a limo picking you up in New York instead of a cab. And it was at Limo Res, product placement, not sponsored by them. And I did it, and they upgraded me to Wi-Fi because they saw that I had a few followers, and it was great. Then I tweeted thank you, and see, now I'm talking about them. That's exactly how business should evolve. It's just a huge word of mouth, and brands which are interacting with us is very important. I have a question here on Twitter. I'm going to take it now. It's Seguin_M, probably French. What would you say the maximum acceptable response time for live customer feedback on social networking is? I don't know. There is no rule, but I know of brands who are trying to do a 4-hour SLA quality, time of response. I think it's key because it's public. I'd love to do more with Seismic myself, but we can't. Honestly, we can't. We have like a mention of Seismic every 30 seconds or more. We try to go to the ones which have questions, problems, in priority, but we can't. We would need, 5-10 people full-time to just handle all the tweets. Very difficult. And no, the Seismic technical support doesn't work 24 hours a day. M. Dogeli, but we have people on 2 time zones, here in San Francisco and in Europe. And we're trying our best. It's only 2 people, so of course they sometimes sleep, and of course they can't answer everything either. And I help as much as I can myself, but it's very challenging, honestly. I'd like to answer every single tweet, every single question, just very, very challenging. So anyway, I think the ideal would be to answer everything, but see the investment that it is for a startup, it's tough. We're trying hard. Now, it's all going to the cloud. Big trend, right? Again, this is a presentation about trends. Another trend is, did I bring it? No, I don't have my CR48, the Google prototype for Chrome OS laptop, netbook, but it's very cool. I mean, it changes kind of the deal because it's all in the cloud. There is no residential storage, no hard drive on the machine that you can store documents on, and so on. Everything is in the cloud. And a bit lower, the sound, is that too loud? Anyway, okay, it's just that I'm getting excited. It changes the deal in the fact that cloud, how should I say cloud? A cloud. You open it, it goes up in 1 second. it resumes for sleep very fast, and then you go online very fast as well. There is a 3G connection in it. Very cool. That's really how I like any computer to work, and pretty much like an iPad 3G. It's also a great experience. It goes up and it's live very, very fast. You don't have to do anything. Now this is taking it to another dimension because you put everything in the cloud, and that's a lot of it's a totally new paradigm. You can't save things. You can't, I tried to blog, for example, and it didn't work to put a picture on a blog post. So there are things, I would say it helped me do 70% of what I usually do, but I missed a lot still. It's going there. Very interesting trend. Now, if you look at the negatives, and yes, someone is complaining for a student that the price of the web is too expensive. Trying to read at the same time as you talk is an interesting multitasking challenge. There are challenges. So one of those challenges is a personal WikiLeaks kind of thing, right? If you put everything in the cloud, you have the risk that Evan Williams, the founder of Twitter, has experienced recently with some of his emails on Twitter, right? On TechCrunch, sorry, and on Twitter. And so it's kind of a personal WikiLeaks with someone who figured out his password and just posted stuff, confidential stuff. This is frightening. Imagine all your Gmail out, of course. That is not good, and there is a risk. So whether we'll go back to that kind of Evernote kind of software in the cloud, I don't think so. But I think it's something you have to think about when you store mail and when you put your whole life there. My son on Facebook didn't realize that the Facebook images he was putting there basically became kind of persistent online, even if it's private. Yet they had a presentation recently at school that a police person came and gave a presentation to the whole school that at any request the government could ask for their password and access to their data, and he had no idea about that, for example. So it's safe up to a certain point, right? They need, I think, a court order, so it's not that easy to get your online password and so on. Kind of and so you have to think about it. That was my point here. We have another thing which I looked at playing with this at the same time is the fact that some aspects of your life are going online and you don't want them to go online. This is something that I have just realized, which is called Spokeo, and honestly it's horrible. I'm sorry for those guys. If you want to jump in chat, we can talk about it, or just give me a call. But I found my house and my house address and like a lot of data in there without all in public. And it's not that like my whole life is almost public, so it's not that I care too much, but it's this. So this is a slide of one of our employees. And if you type his name, you get a picture of his house, you get a map, you get his forecasted income. I mean, you see what I mean? This is really getting scary. And by the way, so I'm kind of sorry I'm advertising those guys, but I was about to say go there, and especially if you're in the US, you should see what's there about you. And I just emailed them to remove myself, which they did. But it shouldn't be opt out like this. It shouldn't be like we put everything we know about you, a picture of your house, and why not a picture of my kids and so on, and then we wait for you to complain. That's not the way it should work. I think it should work differently. Yes, Spokeo is different from Google Street View because it has some income information. It's got the whatever value of a house. It's really trying to get all your data online in public, and I think it sucks. I really think that's something that is really bad. Anyway, just wanted to scare you a little bit, yeah. Another impact of the web is let's see if this is better. Oh, is that better? Yeah, that's much better. The other thing which is happening is your brain is getting completely changed with the stream and with all these constant interactions. This is going to be a 3-hour presentation, by the way. No, your brain, and you should read the Shallows, is changing, right? Because you're listening. See what I'm doing now. I'm talking, I'm giving a presentation. At the same time, I'm monitoring a chat room here. At the same time, I am monitoring my mentions on Twitter. And at the same time, you see what I mean. And I'm not checking my iPhone for email, because that would be a little too much. But have you not experienced the fact that you read a book and you can't concentrate? It does this all the time to me. You read, even your eyes keep going, right? But you're thinking about something else. You're doing something else in your mind, and that's screwing up your brain basically, because your brain cannot concentrate. Your brain cannot act the way it reacted and worked before, and I think it's fascinating. Is it a good or bad news? I don't really know. I think it cannot really be only bad news. So we're probably rewriting ourselves and adapting to that new trend and situation. But think about it. I'm trying to have myself complete offline time once every year. No, so I don't know, like maybe an hour a week. No. Trying to read a book, for example, I use my Kindle because it doesn't have chat and mail and everything. And I get rid of all the devices, just my Kindle. But it's very challenging. Think about that. Read that book, it's pretty good, it's entertaining, makes you think. There are apps, probably a new business sector here, entire apps being designed for helping you get out of this addiction. So there is my friend Jared doing a Wayfind, which helps you check your mail twice a day only, for example. You have that's why I run too, Paul. I also run as well, because as you run, you don't have any interaction with anything else. You can listen to music, but that's it. Maybe Runkeeper, which is an app I love, makes it possible now for you to speak to me live while I'm running, which would be fun. But that's why I like also to be offline. So Wayfind will get all your mail, and you tell, they actually help you guess, but who is important. So your best friend, your business partners, your wife, your girlfriend, and let them get to you if it's important. So SMS, text message, whatever, but you're not constantly distracted by email. I have tried, I love it, and I failed for now, but it's all my fault, because I just can't explain, I can't get away from my mail and so on. There is an app like Freedom, which says it will disable your internet connection completely, and that's very new as well. So you disable your Apple networking or your Windows networking, and you don't get any connection. It helps you focus on, let's say, a presentation you're doing, or let's say on something important you're doing, which is not distraction. Freedom, yeah. New business sector here, an entire business sector on helping you getting addicted, and I think that's a hot one. This stuff doesn't exist for girlfriend off, I'm afraid. French mineral water. Product placement. Location, of course. I won't spend too much time on this, but think about this slide in Davos with people who have probably never heard of Foursquare yet. That's what was my point here, is to explain that Foursquare or even Facebook Places may be small and a little geeky, less and less, right? But they are a game changer for me. I think they're going to be huge. The more you use it, the more you realize how helpful it is. For example, again in Davos, 3,000 people, but Davos is a place, a hotel, a congress center, and then all around this there are like tens of hotels. And the feeling of Davos is each time you're there, you feel you're missing something else, because there are like tens of events happening pretty much in secret. I mean, you don't know, right? There is the Google party there, and there is the, whatever else. And this year with Foursquare, you could see people checking in. So I was checking in myself, Japanese party here, this lunch there, and so on. And that was very interesting. So that's one thing. It gives you context of what your friends or other people at an event are doing. And of course, it gives you context about a place. When you go to a restaurant, you see what your friends ordered. Of course, you get some discounts maybe, and some more, of course. So if you're still there listening to me, say hi again. Just checking. Here we go. You're still there. Good. Thank you. So location. You know where I'm getting at. Coucou de Montréal. Bonjour Montréal. Everything is becoming a platform. I insisted on it, but there are new platforms here coming on board. The car is the main platform. You can see that video here. I should have the links in the presentation, but just Google for or Bing for iPad in car video, and you will see this guy has completely removed the interior of the car and the interior of the car, the panel, and put an iPad in there just because he wants his app. He wants Pandora, and he wants the music from iTunes. He doesn't want those generally crappy old GPS kind of stuff. Like Maps is so much better. Something I discovered yesterday, actually. What's the name again of this app? I wrote about it on let's see, on my Evernote, my brain extender, and it's an app that plugs into a port which all the cars have, and that port, I'm sure someone knows what I'm talking about. It's called Rev, R-E-V. Check this app. Check this out. Check this app on iPhone, and that app will connect to that little port and read what's happening in your car live. Amazing. It's Sébastien Dehaleux who sold his company to Electronic Arts. I was having dinner with him yesterday, who showed me, and it shows you the speed of the car, the GPS position, all the engine parameters like your dealer would get. And Rev, yes, R-E-V on iPhone, check in the App Store. And it's impressive. Someone is tweeting the sound quality isn't good. That's too bad. I'm going to post a video of that recorded with another device, by the way, later. So if anyone wants to check it out, probably with better sound. And that's amazing. So a car is becoming a platform. Everything is becoming a platform. Another platform is the health platform. And the health platform for me is probably something I would create. I would start a business right now if I wasn't so busy with Sysmic and the web, which I love. Is I would, work with those guys, Runkeeper, measures how you run and sends this data to the cloud. Then YThings, which you can see here, is a Wi-Fi scale sending your weight to the cloud and comparing it to your Runkeeper. You get a live information kind of how your body is evolving, and I think that's a whole new sector. And what is it? Fitbit, which measures your sleep. Just the beginning. Your body as a platform is something very fascinating for me. Then you have social networking and objects, making social objects. Another big trend, which hasn't really started yet. So here is Sticky Bits, which is an app. You read the barcode. It tells you what your friends think about it, if they bought it, if they left a review, and so on. Beginning. You have those little cubes of the Lady Gaga glasses. As you talk to me, you could see. Let's say I talk about my kids, and you see pictures of my kids on those glasses, right? So context, social context. This is just a beginning of social objects, which hasn't started. I think it's really fascinating. We have, of course, Groupon, amazing success. I love this quote of Andrew Mason. The size of a social commerce market is the size of every empty restaurant table. And that's happening. I think even though Groupon is huge, that we've only scratched the surface. And it's totally the beginning. Think about what Zynga has done with gaming and Facebook. social commerce hasn't started yet. So how will it look like? Well, it looks like first 1 million sites which activated Facebook Connect integration. If you go to Amazon and you connect, or if you go to Levi's and you connect, you will see the different apps. You will see, which products your friends like and why and so on. Beginning of that huge social commerce trend, just new. Social commerce also means managing reputation, and I think that's a huge opportunity for us, Seismic, of course. But here's my dentist, who has a Facebook page, and she has a promotion on Groupon that she did with cleaning. So she filled up her cleaning, and it's a very big source of leads for her. And then she has a YouTube channel, and she has a LinkedIn, and so on. So this is very, very advanced. By the way, let me see. I was trying to find you the blog post I've done with that. But anyway, you can Google her. It's Irena Valksman, product placement. I like my dentist. And yeah, so it's all the small businesses will start doing that because they will realize that it's the #1 source of leads. My conference, Loic, has no advertising budget, zero, right, over 7 years, and yet it gathered 3,000 people in 60 countries just with word of mouth on the internet. So helping with this, and that's a huge trend. Thank you for the link. It looks like the sound isn't that bad, so that's good. I was afraid of that. Dentist 2.0. Yeah, maybe I could stream my next session on Ustream. That would be it. Another trend in social commerce, talking about video, is YouTube becoming a huge platform and having more traction and impact than TV. Here, I realize also those are links in the presentation. I don't know they are here, but I'll add the names of those YouTube authors. They talk about everything they buy. That's all they do. They bring a bag that they bought and what's inside, which they bought, and you can see 3.5 million views. It's amazing. It's very, very impressive, and it's a big trend as well. And people definitely don't use Twitter enough, YouTube enough. Another trend is opening APIs. Very few have. These are plugins on Seismic Desktop for Zappos, and we have eBay as well, the two first ones for e-commerce. There is more coming. But basically, what it takes is opening an API and then letting developers like us integrate it for you or for the users. And what it brings you, if you try the Zappos plugin, which is really first edition, same with eBay, you can see the beads live and so on. You can see what people are saying live as well, which is new and interesting. You can see, you see what I mean. It becomes social basically, and for that you need an API. I'm completely confused with this camera, but that's not a big deal. So open up, right, the e-commerce stores as well, and I think most stores will open APIs, and that means we will see an ecosystem of apps around them, which hasn't started yet. Play with those plugins, and you will see. And Sunish, a tool plugin, great. That's it. So what did I do? Pretty bad, huh? 50 minutes, wow. So that was my presentation. I wanted to give you a few trends that I'm experiencing and thinking. And now I'd like to take some questions from you, from the chat room, from Twitter. So I'm at Loic, Loic on Twitter. And also, let's see, my Facebook page. That would be great as well. And I hope it wasn't too bad. I can see you look like happy, or not too bad in terms of sound. That's what I mean. And I think it rocks. So Slideshare, the zipcast, is pretty awesome way of doing a presentation. It's a first for me. And do you have questions? Yes, I'll schedule my session in advance, Tortue. But it's kind of fun to do it this way as well, because That's what I like. I mean, hey, it's real time, right? So, you know, you happen to be there. They told me yesterday to do it, and I decided, yeah, sure, we are friends, so let's do it, and took this presentation, and I'll do better next time. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if Ross is still there, if we can have stats about who connected. Okay, let me take a few questions. Can you tell me, is this Slideshare based? Yes, it's a new product from Slideshare called Zipcast, and I'm not a Slideshare shareholder. I wish I would, but they are friends, and I'm experimenting with them, and it's cool. Let's see, what about B2B and social media? We kind of covered that earlier in the presentation, so maybe you want to see that as well. Secret stuff for seismic paying plans. We're not planning to make everything available today paying. We're planning to leave it as is, mostly because we love having hundreds of thousands of users. We love that. We love being on 100 plus countries on mobile. Yet we are not a non-profit, and we need to, you know, pay the lunch and the Perrier. So we will have some, let's say, business-focused features that will be in paid plans pretty soon. And I'm looking for feedback, actually, on how much you're willing to pay. But it might not be the appropriate place to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a screencast only about that. But that was more general kind of trends and so on presentation. A word about social intranet. Yeah, well, social intranet, we kind of covered that, but I think the basics is that people want to be working in a company, in an organization, like they are on Facebook, as easy as it is, on Twitter and Facebook and so on, and LinkedIn. And the current systems don't provide that. So there are two, I would say, two main services which are growing. One is Chatter from Salesforce, our partner and investor. We raised some money from them, which we announced last week. Strong partner. And then there is no one called Yammer, and there are plenty of others, but those are probably the two main ones. And we use Chatter ourselves internally, non-stop. And it's amazing how it changed the way we work because we all see what's happening in the company live. We're in Europe, we're in the US, and we're in Asia. A small team there in Asia. Very interesting. Social text, yes, Russ. Good, well, I wanted to see if Russ Mayfield was following. There is social text as well. Yes, it's over, we're taking questions. I can see, Russ, thank you. So, you need a plugin, that's why I don't think about it. Any other question? On Twitter, what are the perspective of social rewards? I guess you'll have to give me more details about that one, but I think it's fascinating. No, I don't really know, honestly. You need to probably explain more of a question. When is my next marathon? I'm ashamed to say I'm registered to the Napa Valley Marathon in 2 weeks on March 6th. And what I'm ashamed to say is that I might not run it because I took some weight, not that much, but from the New York Marathon, like 4 kilograms. And I'm traveling like hell, especially 2 days before the marathon, and I am not trained. So if I go there, it's not going to be nice, but I could try. We'll see. Yeah. Hot seismic plugins to come. We have so there is Tumblr coming, there is Chatter coming momentarily. We've been testing it hard with customers of Salesforce. There is Yammer coming. There is a few more coming. A T-shirt. We don't have a we need to do T-shirts and stuff. Sorry about that. What do you think about Chrome OS? Will it succeed? Yes, I think it's great. We have a lot of traction also on the web store. If you haven't tried Seismic web app on the Chrome OS, on the Chrome store in general, should launch it, Chrome, and try it. It's pretty cool. Future of Ping FM. So Ping FM has had to have, let's say, how could I put it, major rewriting in some parts of the code, which we have started a few months back, and we're almost done to make it rock solid. and honestly business, class or enterprise class. And that's almost done. We're about to relaunch RSS support in it. We're about to relaunch a new, step-by-step architecture on Ping FM, which will be deeply integrated into Sysmic. And there is no way we're going to not pay attention to it. On the contrary, it's just that there is a team who rewrote it. Because what I'd like to do is to be able to guarantee quality to you, to be able to say if you post an update, here is where it posted, like 99% guarantee delivery. That's what I'm aiming at. Because I feel frustrated myself if I post an update and it doesn't go for some reason to Facebook or Twitter, which, by the way, is not always us, but it might be the services API which have a problem. But it's fascinating. Competition versus Hootsuite, great. If anyone from Hootsuite watches me, hi. You guys are doing great. I love competition. I wrote a blog post in 2003 or 2004 about competition, and that you guys should respect and talk to competition. And I talked to Ryan, I know him. I talked to Ian at TweetDeck, I know him. Congratulated him on my blog for the acquisition that is not announced yet a few days back. And that's good. You know what? I think they're doing great. I think we're pretty strong on some things, like mobile, for example. I think we're really good, getting really good on some of them. And some others need some work. But like our latest iPhone release, if you haven't tried, is, I think, getting there. You should try. Let me put it this way. We used to suck, and I don't think we do that much anymore. I think we rock on Android, and our next Android release will be amazing. I think it's very, very good. And we've been pretty quiet on Android for a few weeks, but it's going to be good. So mobile is strong. Our deal with Salesforce, very, very strong. We're very close to Salesforce. And, I was at Dell last week without giving away any secrets. And you can see the tweets from Michael Dell using Sysmic himself. That's pretty exciting. Android rocks, yeah. How long do you think this social revolution will go? I think it's only a beginning. It's just a start. Ross, hey, tell me, can you say hi in the chat room if you're there, just that I see how many people are left? Okay. I was just trying to see if I had lost. Cool. I love it. See, that's why I really like to see you all. But that was by way of kind of a vision of Sysmic video, the first edition, which I think were 10 years too early, because I am frustrated right now. Russ, you have frustrated me because I interact with you. You can see me. I can see your Facebook, of your updates on chat. I can see your tweets, your Facebook, but I cannot see you, and I'd like to see you. And there is no way we can do that in an interactive way. There are some software, yeah, right, but you see what I mean? Asynchronous, I should start that again. No, I won't. I'm pretty focused right now. Anyway, next time in Montreal. Thank you, Russ. Two-way video coming. Cool. Next time in Montreal, no plans yet. Got invited to 2 events. I love Montreal. J'ai beaucoup apprécié là-bas. J'ai adoré. Surtout la poutine. So the poutine is, what they put on the French fries there, or fries. And I really miss it. But I have no plans just because I'm trying to focus on Sysmic. And my focus is meeting social brands and media buyers, as my friend Jeremiah Young would call them. And that's all I'm doing right now. I'm really focusing on that, and especially in the US and Japan. Any other question? I might actually go to lunch soon. Would love to hear your thoughts on Sysmic potential for 1 billion in Africa. I love Africa, but it's a question of focus, and we're probably going to, again, we're a business. We're probably focusing on the highest revenue generating countries right now, which are US, Japan, Europe, and actually some countries in Europe only. And that's just because we've been iterating. Some people would say agile entrepreneurship has been the rule here at Sysmic. And now I think we're on a great track solving one very easy problem, which is, managing all of that for brands and personal, brands, and helping you manage your social networks. and it's amazing how much there is to be done there. So I'm just focusing, and of course we're taking like priorities based on kind of a revenue opportunity for us. Now we have the products. We think they don't suck too much anymore. We think they're pretty good, and if what you think sucks, we're fixing it. But I think they're pretty good. Having seen that the usage growth of Sysmic is amazing, it's awesome. That makes my day every day. We're growing very fast on all platforms. And we might not be the biggest on all of them, but who cares, right? We want to be really good for business users. That's our focus. And so short answer is we're focusing on that. I'm back in France from March 14th to 18th doing 6 meetings a day. Maybe a few more questions. It's been an hour, so I guess I should let you guys go, and we'll do that more if you like it. Let's see, one last question. All right, let's take one. Even my screensaver now is going on, so I should remove it. Let's see. Did I plan this zipcast? This will be the last question. No. Rashmi and Ross behind Slideshare launched this product. They emailed me 36 hours ago, and we agreed yesterday that I would do it, and I didn't prepare anything. I started playing with it half an hour before starting, and as you can see, pretty much works technologically. It's me that wasn't maybe so prepared. I probably should have better mics next time, microphones, but I think it was, so no, it wasn't planned. Let me know if that was good, interesting for you, if I should do it again. You can type it in the chat room right now. I can see it right now. Let me know if it sucks, if the sound was bad. Yes, thanks, okay, good, great, awesome, fantastic. And now, yes, I'll do it again soon, and I'll give you more notice, because I wanted to.